What is up, Smashers? Shin Splints, that's what's up. Hey, listen, just FYI, you guys think you got a good engine? That's good old Susan Blake. She is a badass. She's rowing a 10K. 10K. My butt just went and I'm saying that. Hurt. It's awful. And she's crushing it. I think she's almost done. So listen, we're going to be talking about shin splints. Here's the problem with shin splints. Most people look at them wrong and they start peeling away things that have nothing to do with it, and they don't look at the mechanics. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. We're going to unload the tissue. We're going to get rid of any impingements, and then we're going to peel away any adhesions. Then we're going to get the mechanics right. We're going to do it all in like 7 to 10 minutes. It's just that quick. So the first thing is, when you look at the way shin splints work, tibialis anterior runs down the anterior portion of the lower leg, so the front of the leg just lateral to the shin, on the outside of the shin, and that does what's called dorsiflexion. So we're going to be able to lift that up. So I'm going to take into account that probably most of you guys are heel strikers. Oh, we need to change that, but that's a whole other video. That's number one. And number two is, being a heel striker, you're going to load and unload that a lot, but flip around to the far side. I know the tibialis anterior is pretty glued down. Flip around on the other side, and the soleus, which wraps around the gastroc, comes down to basically this fascial sheath, this aponeurosis, where it turns into the Achilles tendon and then tacks down to the calcaneus, the heel, and that's guaranteed glued down to the bone, that's glued down to the skin, so we're going to peel all that away. You got the talus in the center. Remember, you have the tib and the fib. So that talus sits in the middle and has to tuck back to allow for dorsiflexion. When it can't tuck and it kind of gets impinged in there, what happens is you lose that ability to move, so you'll load up the tissue in the front to try and recover some of that movement. It can't, so the flip side is everything in the back gets locked down even more. Yeah, and then when your hip doesn't move right, here's the part everybody misses. When your hips aren't moving right, everything downstream and upstream suffers. We already know that, but as the hips collapse, and here's what I'll show you. So let me move this and you can see what I'm talking about. A lot of people run around in extension. So I'll show you what I mean. So if we look at the spine, we look at how we're standing, we end up in extension. So when you're showing off that new set of Lululemon pants, you go into this super extended position, you push the glutes out, but in order to get out of extension, your body automatically disengages the knees. So as it disengages the knees, now you're running on posterior chains. So the hamstrings are fired up, the calves, the gastroc and the soleus are fired up, and you're basically clawing at the ground every time you take a step. So you're walking around like this. Yeah, it does not look horrible. It just hurts me to do that, actually. But you're walking around like that, so all the posterior tissues are super loaded up, which means every time you go to take a step, or you're running or jumping, so if you're doing jumping workouts or running workouts or explosive workouts, plyo stuff, up on boxes, really explosive movements, you're going to chew up that tissue down the front of the shin. So that tibialis anterior right down here, and this compartment doesn't have a lot of room. So when it gets flooded with inflammation and a bunch of liquid, when it gets all just, well, like it's like hydraulics, it gets super loaded up, you lose even more motion, and there's not a lot of forgiveness in there. That tibialis anterior starts to peel away little bits of the tibia, and the one that's missing is the tibialis posterior. Yeah, I bet some of you guys didn't even know you had one of those. So tibialis posterior comes off the tib and the fib. Yeah, I'm moving my wicked camera stand. I know I'm talking a lot in this one, and we'll get to the doing in a second, but it comes off the tib and the fib, and it wraps down around the lateral or the medial malleolus and kind of hooks on the cuneiform and the navicular, and it hooks on there, and it does plantar flexion. But it does a little bit of inversion as well. So we want to evert and kind of stretch that. It's kind of tough to get to, so I'm going to show you a really trick way to unload that. We unload all that stuff, peel that away, get your hips moving right with that external rotation, and all of a sudden, boom, you got no more shin splints. And shin splints aren't from running; they're from bad mechanics. There's a difference. I had some guy tell me one time. He says, "100% false. Shin splints are from running." No, they're not. Shin splints are from funky mechanics. When you're moving like an old piece of shoe leather, that's why your shin splints don't work, or that's why you have shin splints. That's why your shins don't work. So first thing is, we're going to unload the tissue, right? So the way we're going to do that, this is so cool. I freaking love this stuff. Happy Monday, by the way. So if you look, tibialis anterior runs down the front. So we're going to unload the tibialis anterior, then we're going to hit the back. We're going to peel that away, and then we'll get to some real funky fun stuff. So, Marika, right? Good socks. So point your toe. Make sure it's kind of tucked underneath the glute. This is so easy to do, but what do I say? It's easy not to do, right? So tuck your glute, tuck the foot under the glute, and then just come all the way up. You're gonna load, kind of push your foot against it, and then come all the way back down. 2, 3, 4, 5 cycles of that. Really push, 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 push. And then when you're done, really get a good stretch and you'll feel it. And just hang on for how long? 2 minutes. That's number 1. That's gonna hit that tibialis anterior. Here's the tibialis posterior. It's like you're driving a bus. So I'll sit this way so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Just get in a super funky, easy position. Grab the foot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the foot and I'm gonna turn this way. So this is gonna, so I'm basically taking it and I'm doing like a wrist lock takedown, right? We're just doing this. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna twist away and then give it a pull. So I'm twisting away and then pulling on this side of my, the lateral portion of my foot. So I'm giving it a yank. So I'm gonna pull on that and then I'm gonna push against my hand. Push, 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 relax. Push, 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 relax. And I keep going further and further. That's gonna hit that tibialis posterior. That's how you get that thing unloaded. And most people don't do that. Ready for the fun one? Calf stretch. Everybody knows this one. Except do they really? Standard PVC. We'll do this side so you can see what I'm doing. Get the foot up on the PVC. Like this, so you can feel that in the hamstring already. So get the foot on the PVC and drive your heel into the ground. So my foot's all the way up on the PVC. Flare out your toes and then grind into it, come away. Peel into it, come away. That's how you're gonna load up the gastroc and the soleus. And just do this for how long? Yeah, come on, we know this already. I shouldn't even have to say it. Because when we start loading up on the wall, the foot has a tendency to fall outwards and you wind up just stretching a portion of it, and you have to actively rotate that foot in. This is gonna hit everything, because this piece of PVC here, or foam roll, whatever you got, that's gonna kind of lock the foot in a nice, flat, stable platform. All right, so that's how we're unloading the back and the front. Now comes the fun part. You ever think the bottom of your foot has any bearing on this? Yeah, it does. That fascia sits on the bottom and it glues those 26 bones of the foot down, and then you get super crummy mechanics. So you take a lacrosse ball. Remember, there's 2 arches on the foot, the longitudinal arch and a transverse arch, provided I don't eat it on the floor like I almost did. Yeah, see, I keep all my fails on here. I don't edit my stuff. So get on the inside of that arch, and you're gonna just lean on it and just flare your toes out. Just kind of unglue this stuff. Scour and hunt around, flare the toes out. Just get on the outside, get on the inside. Do not foam roll up here and put a ball up in here, it'll be funky. And then the other one is the windshield wiper. Okay, so get on that transverse arch, flare the toes out, it's just below the ball of the foot, and then just back and forth. You know the routine. How long? 2 minutes until you feel that foot unload. Already, if you just did that, you'd already have a big change in how the mechanics of your foot work. But like an infomercial, just wait, there's more. Yeah, let's move the ball so it doesn't go and interrupt Sue's row. Wouldn't that be a funky row, huh? Middle of her row and a little yellow lacrosse ball comes dancing across, locks out her rower, and she's got to restart it right now. Wouldn't that be awful? So now we're going to clear out the impingement in the ankle, because there probably is one. I know there's a lot going on in this video. So take a band, load it up on the bottom of the rig, get in the anterior crease of that ankle, pull it all the way. You're going to plant your foot, you're going to rotate your foot, so torque into the ground so you have an arch. That's super important, otherwise your foot's going to collapse. So you can see my foot wants to dump inwards, but look what happens to my knee. My foot dumps inwards, it drags the knee along with it. So torque into the ground and then just lean and kind of hang out. This is one of those real slow, methodical things, so just chill for 2 minutes. Flip around to the other side. Now we're going to translate the foot, and you're going to load it again. You're going to do the same thing. So I'm torquing into the ground, not twerking, torquing. Get that right. And then you're going to, because I think I said twerking by accident, which would be a hilarious mobility video. Again, making that arch on the inside of the foot. I know you can't see it, but there's an arch here, trust me. And then you just let this band really drag that foot anterior. Or drag the shin, the tibia and the fibula anterior against the foot and the mechanics in the ground. All right, so what do we got? We unloaded, we cleared out impingements. Now we get to smash. This is the best part. I know, it's like the longest video ever. Grab your PVC. No, foam roll won't work on this one. Go to Home Depot, spend $1, and get a piece of PVC. Trust me, it's worth it. Your body will thank you for it, and you'll probably send me a nasty message. So You can see I'm leaning on this. What you can't see is what the foot's doing in the back. So I'm gonna do just circles with the back. This is where it gets funky because it's painful. I'm not gonna have you rock back and forth, but this will tell you how loaded up that tissue is. So get yourself braced out. I'm on this PVC, and then just nice, slow, super painful circles all the way up and down that tibialis anterior. And then you do the same thing on the posterior side, except under load. So kick up onto the PVC, find that hot spot, cross over, and just real slow all the way. Make sure you get to that Achilles, because that thing I guarantee you is pasted to the back of that tibia, and just rock back and forth. Find all those glued down spots outside, roll over, get the inside. Get yourself super supple. Ready for the last one? It's so easy. I think I've given you about 12 million ideas on things to do. There. I know, wicked camera angles. You're gonna step in. We're gonna restore the rotation of the hip, which in turn will fix the mechanics of how you're standing and how you're walking and running. So take this, you're gonna kick the foot out, you're gonna roll the foot towards the outside, and you're gonna let the band come off about 30 degrees, not directly behind you. You're just gonna take this knee and you're gonna come inside, wrap all the way around, and just chillax. This leg here, no more than 45 degrees at this knee. And just chill. How long? 2. And that's it. You've just unloaded the high hip. If I can step out of a band. You've just fixed your shin splints, all in the span of like, I don't know, 10 minutes, half hour, hour. I've been talking a long time. That's how you do it. SmashweRx Monday, shin splints. I'll check you guys out tomorrow.